Right, I think we're live. Okay, so welcome everybody to this another one of these streams that we've been doing on the weekends. Mike's been doing the Zoom meetings on a Saturday normally, and John and Steve also have done some. And Steve's done some videos, and I've done some streams, and we'll do some more videos and streams as we go. So this one is going to be slightly different. We are going to be talking about SDR and RSPs and SDR Uno, but we're going to slightly focus on controllers. So most SDR applications are developed with the mouse in mind, Windows mice or Mac or Linux, but they're always designed with mice in mind. And a number of people come to us at the shows and say to us, well, what about other controllers? Do you support various tuning knobs? Or because if you're coming from a transceiver environment, having that sort of being able to sort of twist the dial is quite a nice way of being able to sort of scan up and down in frequencies. So I thought it would be a kind of a good idea if we just had a bit of a chat about what SDR controllers are out there. Some are bespoke SDR controllers, and some may have come from a slightly different origins. So I hope this is going to work. I shall switch over to, let's have a look at some of these devices that I've got here. So we'll start off with, we'll go from the lowest to the cheapest to the most expensive, and then obviously you can sort of see which one works for your environment. This here I picked up off of Amazon for £20 UK, about 25 US, I suppose, or 530 US. It's literally a volume controller, and you plug it into Windows, and that's all it does. Is it just controls the volume, mutes or turns the volume on and off. Now, what you can do, if you know what you're doing, is you can modify these to actually be essentially mouse controllers. So you can spin the dial, go up and down in frequency, around the buttons. So that's typically what they're used for. But there are, if I quickly show you, there's what I'll do is I'll put these links in the description. But there is if I go to my browser, and I've got the wrong page, so here we go. So if I show you, there's a gentleman in Germany who has basically an article about how he has turned one of these volume controllers into an SDR controller, and I found that quite interesting. So I'll put a link to that in the description. And also, one of our channel partners, Funk24, actually produced these controllers, and they're like a very simple VFO controller. So literally up and down frequency, and you press the button to select the VFO. So that's you can see that's 36 euros. They did tell me that because of the coronavirus, there's a bit of a delay on these at the moment, so you might struggle to get one right at the moment. But you may have another supplier that you can send to. That's kind of at the cheap end. The next one up is something that we were put onto by the guys from Martin Lynch and Son. We saw them at we see them at a lot of shows and obviously at their store. But they put us onto this, which is the ShuttleXpress, and this is quite a nice. I think it was originally designed for like video editing, that kind of stuff. But you can use this quite nicely. It's got actually two wheels. It's got a what they call a jogging wheel in the middle, which you can just put your, and that's like a bit of an indent. You can put your finger in there and you can spin that round. And then you have an outer wheel which has a limit. It can go only certain turns one way and then certain turns another way. And then you've got these 5 other buttons. Now I have what if I show you the if I show you SDR Uno. So SDR Uno, there we go. And actually, before I do that, let me just show you the settings panel. So this is the software that comes with ShuttleXpress, and basically what you do is you say, I want this button to do this or this button to do that, and if I turn the middle, then I want it to emulate a mouse scrolling. And so I've set these buttons up to do various things inside SDR Uno. So let's switch over to SDR Uno, and I'll show you what it can do. So hopefully you can see all of that. Right, okay. So let's give this a try. Okay. So the first thing you need to make sure is that SDR Uno has the focus. So you click on the main SP, make sure it has focus. And then this inner wheel, if I can really show that properly, the inner wheel with the indent, if I turn that round, you'll see that we're now tuning the frequency up and down. I've set that to emulate the mouse scroll wheel. What I've also done on the outer wheel is I've told that to emulate the zoom. Now this has 7 degrees of turning, so I've told it to emulate zoom when I go to 7th turn. So when I go all the way to the right, if I can show you this properly, but if I turn this all the way to the right, then we've zoomed in. And if I go all the way to the right again, we've zoomed in again. Go all the way to the right, we've zoomed in again. And then if I go all the way to the left, we've zoomed out. Go again to the left, we've zoomed out, and then zoom out again. So you can set these functions up to do whatever you like, but that's quite I quite like the ability to have the 2 wheels together there. And then on the buttons, I just kind of set these up to do different things. So this button here is the yellow lock. So now the yellow is locked, and if I turn the middle wheel, what that's going to do is just change the VFO. You can see that the VFO is moving, but the IQ data is not. The yellow is locked to the center. The second button, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but the second button, I've set this up to switch to AM mode. So if you look at the I don't know if I can point that out on the screen, but if you look up in the RX control panel, you'll see that we're now in AM mode. And I did try to program this up to go back to FM mode. Now for FM mode, you kind of need to switch to FM mode, but you also need to switch to wideband FM. And so I thought, that's okay. My keyboard can support macros. I've set my keyboard up for F4 to do exactly that. It does F and then W, which sets FM and then wideband FM. So I just set this button up here to press F4. It doesn't work. So I will be reporting that back to the manufacturers to when I set my keyboard up to do a macro, why doesn't this thing actually activate the macro? That may be something that they can activate, they can get working in the future. But if I go to my keyboard and press F4, what you'll see is it's gone to FM and wideband FM. We're back to kind of where we were before. The 4th button over here, I've set to store a frequency. So you can see in the memory panel, I've just pressed the button, and you can see in the memory panel down here that I've actually stored the frequency. And I can keep pressing that button, and it's going to store and store. So that's quite nice to be able to do that. And on the 5th button, I've just made this the TX-RX, the mute. So you could potentially hook this up to your transceiver. I mean, most people who are using this as a pan adapter have got the transceiver connected up via OmniRig to do PTT, but it's just another, just a way of programming up the buttons. Now, obviously, to do all of this, you need to know what buttons SDR Uno supports, or what keystrokes SDR Uno supports. So if you go to the user manual, section 10 has a list of all the keyboard shortcuts. And if you've got the software, go to the opt menu, pull down user manual, it'll open up, and section 10 will tell you all of the different keystrokes to get all the different modes. And yeah, so and then you literally just map those keystrokes to the controller. And like I said, if we have a look at the web page again, so Martin Lynch supply these in the UK, and that's where we got this one from. But again, in different parts of the world, you may be able to find these in different. I did actually contact the manufacturer because I wanted to know if they had an SDK kit so that we could maybe do some more integration with this device later. But they don't actually supply one. But I've been put on a waiting list, and as soon as they have one for it, then we'll be able to get hold of that. So that might be something we can do in the future. If I now go back to SDR Uno, and we'll now have a look at the Griffin Powermate. Well, this used to be the Griffin Powermate, so I picked this up off of. This is probably one. Again, if you come to the shows, this is probably the one that you'll see the most of, because I've had this for years. I got this off of eBay for £15, and it's simple button. It's really well made, really nice finish to it. Nice metallic finish. It's obviously got a nice blue light, which is obviously a bonus. And I can show you the control panel for that. Again, you get a control panel in a very similar way to the ShuttleXpress. You get a different control panel. And so, believe it or not, this little thing does. You can have six functions. So you've got left and right, got push down left and right, and then you've got push down on its own and push down for a specific period of time. And so again, I've just again, we need to give focus back to SDR Uno. So I'll just click on the main SP, and again, if you have a look, if I switch over and show you, obviously I need to show you SDR Uno. So I'll show you SDR Uno, and if I just sort of turn the dial, and of course I need to have focus back on the. That's the only problem with these systems that use keyboard shortcuts and mouse, is the software needs to focus. So you can see I've got LO lock enabled, and I'm just changing the VFO with the dial. But one of the buttons I configured, which was a push down, was to turn the LO lock on and off. Now I've turned the LO lock off with a push down. Now I'm tuning the frequency, see that the whole spectrum. And I think I also did hold down and turn. I think I made the zoom. So if I push down and twist, you can see that I'm zooming in, and if I push down and twist the other way, you can see that I'm zooming out. That's another quite nice little feature. And I think to hold, what I also did was, if I get rid of the memory panel, I also programmed to hold down for a period of time to open up the memory panel. So if I just hold down the button for a period of time, you'll see the memory panels come. So just so I believe that Bonito now provides these, because these have been around for years, and I think they kind of went out of circulation for a while. People kept asking me, where did we get them from? But Bonito now sells them. So if you go to bonito.net, you'll see that he provides the tuning wheel. Again, you may find a different supplier in your region, but that's from Bonito there. Okay. Now we come to the most expensive controller that I have, but the one that has the most functionality. this is the Teammate 2 controller. Originally, this was manufactured and distributed by a company called Woodbox Radio, and they were also the company that distributed the Studio One software before that sort of stopped. And now you can still get this controller, luckily, because it is a very nice controller. You can still get this controller via a company called Elad. I'm sure people in the chat will be aware of Elad, and I'm sure, and I think we have Paul. I think Paul Jones from Elad is in the chat. So hello, Paul. If you're there. But it is a very nice controller. It is sort of the Rolls Royce of controllers. I don't know if I can properly show you all the functionality of it. One of our guys, Mike Ladd, he did a video showing the Elad, or this Elad Teammate 2 controller. So if you have a look on our YouTube channel, again, I'll find links to all of this material, and I'll put it in the description once the video is uploaded. And it is rather nice. Again, if you go to our user manual, we have quite a section on the Teammate 2 controller. So if you go to our manual, section 19.8, as it currently is in version 1.33 of the manual, we've got a description of what the different rotary encoders do, and also what the different F buttons do, what the different function buttons do. And there's also a description there, a nice description of what you'll get on the LED display that's on the screen, that's on the controller. They used to do a Teammate 1, which was the same sort of functionality, but without the LED, without the LCD screen. And I don't know whether that's still in manufacture. I don't know, but the Teammate 2 is basically fine. This has control for, so SDR Uno has control for this device built in. You don't need to have SDR Uno having the focus, because the connectivity isn't done by via Windows. It's done directly from the controller directly to Uno. So you can be working on other things, other applications, and when you turn the dial, it will always control Uno. And so, I mean, I could sit here and go through the different functions, but you've got increased step size, decreased step size. They're not definable buttons. They all have preset functions, and that may be something we look at in the future. A bit of customizing of that, because different people like to have different functions. And it is, it is an expensive box, but it is a very nice box. So maybe at some point in the future we can have a look at doing some customization like that. But you've got actually 3 encoders on this one. So you've obviously got the main controller. So pushing down on the main controller does an LO lock, very similar to how I've programmed these other devices. But you've also got E1 encoder, and again, if you push it down, it's unfortunate I can't really get a decent video. I mean, it's better really if you have a look at Mike's video, because he really shows you this in full detail. And yes, I think you're right, Paul. I think Martin Lynch does also sell the Teammate 2 controller in the UK. Oh, they built it for Woodbox. Well, there you go. So it's always been, that's interesting. It's always been an Elad controller. My one said Woodbox Radio, so that's why that's why I thought it came from them originally. Hi, Paul. Good to see you. Very good to see you. So that's really the kind of range of SDR controllers that I've got experience with. What I'd also like to talk a little bit about is rotary encoders. Now, some people have actually, in fact, Yeah, and in fact, Funk24 sell the the ELAD device in Europe as well. So there are plenty of places where you can have a look and go and get that. But oh, you want to see my face? What I was going to talk about a little bit was rotary encoders. A little while ago, you may remember that John and Mike had a project of turning a Marconi CR100, which is, if I go back to the beginning of this video, you'll see what the CR100 is. It was a kind of a it's a, I guess I call them the boat anchors. And the project was to, I mean, it didn't work. We bought it off of I think John got it from eBay. It didn't work. It was dead. And so what we did was we sort of changed some of the controls to work as an SDR device. And a bit further in here, if I get to here, so you can see John's playing with the controller there. And if I pause it there, you'll see in the middle of the screen there, there's a rotary encoder on the end of an axis there. And so as John's turning the wheel here, the rotary encoder is turning, and then it's communicating. If I go a bit further on in the video, you'll see that the rotary encoder actually communicates with an Arduino device. Oh, the Teammate 1's not available, just the Teammate 2. Okay, Paul, thank you. Good to know. So here you can see the Arduino device that the rotary encoder is connected to. And Mike did some software to send. Mike did some software to control or send the control to. In fact, in this case, it was HDSDR that they had running. But you could equally set this up to work with SDR Uno. Now, so slightly different to that, what I've done, or what I did when we got the, if I go back to here, we don't need to see the Powermate. If I go back to this screen, if I go over here, what we have here is a Raspberry Pi laptop. It's called the Pi Top. Now, we got this from so RS Components contacted us and said, we've got these Pi Tops, what can you do with them? So we thought we'd have a little project, and what we did was, if I can tip this up and show you, inside here is a Raspberry Pi in this corner, Raspberry Pi 3 in this case. There's some control logic for the charging of the battery and so forth over there. There's a speaker in the middle, and you may notice that there's a board here that's somewhat loose, and that's an RSP1A. And so what I did was I rigged up an external antenna port on the side over here, connected up the RSP1A Raspberry Pi 3, and it all works great. You can see on the screen, I don't know if you can see that very well because of the light in here, but we have Cubic SDR running on the Raspberry Pi, and it's all running quite nicely. And then what I did was, on the side of this device, unfortunately it's got chamfered edges, so all the controls point downwards, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, it's just a proof of concept, really. What I did was, I've got a rotary encoder in here, this little device here, just sort of made a hole in the side, it pokes in the side, out the side of the case for this dial. And then, I don't know if I can show you this, but now when I turn the wheel, it's quite crude. What this does is, it basically, there's a Python script running that is interpreting my the wheel. That is changing, by the way, just in case you don't believe me. It's very difficult to see, but it is changing. As I'm turning this wheel, the Python script is interpreting those turns and is sending mouse up and mouse mouse up and mouse down scroll to actually change the frequency in cubic. So it's kind of a somewhat of a similar sort of thing as what we're doing with some of these other controllers in SDR Uno, but this is with a Python script. Very simple Python script. Little rotary encoder, very cheap. Connected up to the GPIO ports of the Raspberry Pi, yeah, just a very simple application. But people can go quite mad and create 3D cases for these things, and so you can really do some quite nice things, like as a kind of a project. Okay, so we get the chat back up because I've lost the chat. Here we go. Yeah, so Mike in chat was the person responsible for doing that. The Arduino device, and if I think he can point people in the right direction if anybody's interested in having a go. So there really are options for different budgets. You can get a volume controller and modify it. You can get some of these sort of I would class them as kind of mid-range controllers. They're the sort of 40 to 60 or maybe 80 pounds, and then UK pounds, and then you've obviously got the Teammate, which is the kind of the top of the line controller. So that was really all I had. Any questions on that before we kind of have a little bit of a chat about what's coming up? Have a look at the chat. I can't see. Looks like Mike and Paul and John have got you covered with all the. But we'll put links to everything that I've used in this video, and see, that's that. Okay, so if there's no questions about any questions on USB controllers before we move on. No? Okay. Well, there's only a few other things I really wanted to talk about, and that was what's coming up in the next kind of few weeks, really. Next week is next weekend's a big weekend. On Saturday, the 16th of May, it's a chance to really connect with us pretty much all day. So from 2 p.m. so from 1400 UTC, we're probably going to be going on for about 8 or 9 hours. We'll be hooking up with Katie from HRO, and we'll be doing a day of streams. We'll be talking about all different aspects of SDR. You name it, it'll be on there. And if you have anything you want to come and talk to us about, we're going to be there. We'll be there all day. We're going to have 3 sessions. They'll start at 1400. Get my times right. Got my crib sheet here. 1400, 1700, and 2000. So basically 2, 5, and 8 in the afternoon UTC, and there'll be like a couple of hour sessions with a bit of a break in between each session. And hey Glenn, good to see you. And yeah, it's going to be a great fun day. We have some material that we've prepared. A lot of it is going to be just like we would do at a show. It's obviously it's going to be the same day as we would have been at Hamvention in Dayton, and it's obviously with what's going on. Obviously, the shows aren't going on at the right now, so we thought we would have a day of of streams, and it's going to be coming on YouTube, and we'll put out some publicity for it before the day. And if you check our website sdrplay.com/webinars, you'll get all the information on there. And yeah, come and join us for the whole day, for 10 minutes, for drop in and drop out as often as you like, but we'll be there answering questions, showing demonstrations, showing what the products can do. We'll be talking to Katie from HRO as well, and it's going to be a great day. Be a great day. Question: does it have to be a USB controller? I have a Microsoft Bluetooth controller for my Surface Pro. Somebody else asked me if we could use the Surface controller, like the little wheel. The honest answer is I honestly don't know. You'd have to, if there was a way for it to emulate keystrokes and mouse operation, then likely yes. If not, if it's something specific that Microsoft have done specific for their, because I did have a look at the dial web page, and it did say that it was only for Microsoft Surface products. So I'm not sure. It just depends. Yeah, as Mike says there, it depends if it allows for custom keyboard strokes, really. Kind of forgot, was outside antenna maintenance. That's okay. So Glenn, when the stream is finished, this will go up as a video, so you can watch it back if you so wish, or just bits of it that you are interested in. Just a couple of other things to let you know what's going on. We have had an issue with Mac OS support for Catalina for the API. A number of people have come through to our support system with that. We think we've got that fixed. We've sent it out to a couple of people, and that's looking like that's fixed. So in the next couple of days, I'll be pushing out an updated installer so that we can fix that properly and then that will be good. So it's we haven't had a lot of feedback on the version 3 API for non-Windows, which is a little bit unfortunate. But the bit of feedback that we have had, that was really the only issue that I'm aware of, was the Catalina support on Mac OS. So it looks like Apple have changed something in the USB system with Catalina, and we've had to do some things a little bit different. So, but anyway, that looks like we've got that done now. And the last thing that I wanted to just mention, update SDR Uno for, Glenn, if you check the roadmap, we'll be doing more than that. So SDR Uno in the next couple of versions will have server client, and it'll be nice. We've already kind of discussed how that's going to work, and we've got a plan for how we're doing that. But it won't be using the existing TCP server, but it will use a server that can be run on any platform. So you can run on you have the server running on a Raspberry Pi or a Mac or a Linux box, with Uno being the client, either on a LAN or over the WAN. And so we've got that is coming. That is coming. What I did want to just briefly tell you about was 1.4 of SDR Uno. We've been working very hard on this. We're going to be showing that next week on the big day of streams, on the away day as we're calling it. So that will be, if you can tune into that'll be great. We've got lots to show you. 1.4, the plugin system is going to be quite a step change for Uno. Anybody can then write plugins that will work with SDR Uno, get the full power of Uno. You can access the stream, access just the screen if you want. So that's going to be a very powerful feature. But not only that, we've got other things that we promised to deliver in 1.4. But we'll show you all those next week. on the that's Saturday, the 16th of May. We start from 1400 UTC, and we're going through for about 9 hours, I think it is. And there's going to be a number of us. Will the client server protocol be documented? Not quite sure what you mean. Will it be documented? Well, you won't need to write your own server because it'll already be done. So I'm not kind of sure why you would need that. But anyway, Steve Andrew, just yeah. So as John mentioned there, that's a very good point, John. So Steve Andrew is very close to having the version of Spectrum Analyzer done to support the RSP DX, and so we're very happy that's going to be out very soon. So keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on social media, and we'll let you know when that's definitely dropped. But that's very close now. He's very close to having that done. Right. That's kind of a bit, unfortunately, a little bit short one this week. But really, what's happening is we're kind of putting a lot of effort. I'm trying to get 1.4 finished, so I need to get back onto that. And we've got a lot to prepare for next Saturday's day of streams. So if you're around next Saturday, come and say hello. We're going to try and make it as interactive as it would be if we was at the show in person. So we'll be lots of small amounts of video that we'll talk over, and we can have questions. And like I say, we'll be featuring Katie from HRO as well throughout the day. So I see the future world of many SDRplay servers all over the globe networked together, and many clients listening. That's a great future, isn't it, Dan? That's a very great future. That's not a problem, Karamba. The video will be finishing very soon, unfortunately, but once we're finished, the video will go up on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch it all over again. So you have that to look forward to. This is good. Looking forward to next Saturday. Also looking forward to the future of SDRplay and the server network. Yeah. It's an array, a networked array of RSPs. What could be better? Okay. Unless anybody has anything else, you've probably seen enough of me now. I'll just show you all the bits and pieces about where we got through to. We got past the 13,000 mark in the SDRplay Facebook group. So congratulations to the 13,000 member. I know Paul was sorting out a prize. So that was great to see. It's amazing to see how big that group has grown and how great a community it is. Everybody's very helpful. So if you're just new to the SDRplay family, you've just got a device and you're not kind of sure how to use it, what to do, that is a fantastic resource. Very helpful people on there. The likes of Paul, Mike, all the beta team are on there, and everybody's there, very helpful. There's other places you can get some help. There's the unofficial forum on SDRplayusers.net. There's the groups.io forum, and the links on the screen now. And like I say, it's such a great community. We're very proud to be a part of this, and yeah, looking forward to the next Saturday. It's going to be quite an event. And there's going to be lots of us. So yeah, come and say hello. Come and ask questions. Come and tell us your experience. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And yeah, see you on the away day. That's absolutely right, John. Okay, take care, everybody. Everybody stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.